House of Representatives probes bailout funds used. Lawmakers push for tougher action on banditry. And reps move to reform polytechnic education. From financial accountability to national security and education reforms, the House of Representatives is making key moves on critical issues. But how far will these efforts go? We break it all down for you right here. Thank you for joining us on You and Your Reps. I am Victor, as welcome. The House of Representatives is digging into how government agencies spent bailout funds received since 2015. Lawmakers have set up ad hoc committee to investigate the use of these funds by ministries, departments, agencies, and government-owned enterprises. Now, this decision comes after a motion of urgent national importance raised by Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda. So where did all that money go? And was it used as intended? Let's take a closer look.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues,
presenting the motion, the minority leader relied on constitutional provisions which empower Parliament to expose corruption and mismanagement of public funds appropriated by the National Assembly. The thrust of the motion is alleged mismanagement of bailout funds and take-off grants allocated by the federal government to MDAs and other government enterprises. Lawmakers insist that any infraction identified in the course of investigation must not go unpunished.
The House is concerned that the significant financial losses resulting from the mismanagement of these funds represent a substantial drain on the public resources that could have been used for essential services and national development in line with Section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution.
Another probe commissioned by the House seeks to unravel the causes of frequent flight delays in the aviation industry and recommend punitive measures for defaulting airlines.
Air carriers are generally liable for damage occasioned by delay of carriage of its passengers and their baggage, except the air carrier proves that it and its servants or agents took all measures that could reasonably be required to avoid the damage.
The House also mandated its Committee on Public Petitions to investigate a petition by the Ohaneze Indigbo Youth Council alleging ill treatment of its leader.
Over the unlawful abduction, illegal detention of Comrade Ibayaka, the national president of Ohaneze Indigbo Youth Council from Owerri, on the alleged instigation of the governor of Ebonyi State, Nwifuru, and the Nigerian police force.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is calling on the federal government and security agencies to step up the fight against banditry by deploying more troops and resources to affected areas. This comes after lawmakers raised motions of urgent public importance on the floor of the House.
Incidents of kidnapping occurred weeks ago in Tsiga, Yanshuni, Kandarawa, and Lamid villages, all in Bakodo local government. Many people were abducted and is still in captivity, and the bandits demanding hundreds of millions from victims' families.
Also, a head of a vigilante group in Owan West was murdered in cold blood. Worried that this series of bloodbaths in Edo State has created the atmosphere of uncertainty, fear among the people of the states, affecting the socio-economic lives of the people.
Recent invasion of human population by wild elephants in Boki local government area of Cross River State was also raised as a matter requiring urgent intervention by the federal government.
As we speak, these wild animals continue to ravage communities in Bamba and surrounding communities in eastern Boki local government, worsening the plight of our people. If urgent measures are not taken by relevant authorities, frustrated locals may resort to self-help, endangering both human lives and already threatened elephant population.
Several legislations passed second reading, including a bill seeking establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Kukawa, Borno State.
To provide full-time courses leading to the award of diploma, higher diploma in agriculture and allied fields and be responsible for the due administration of the college and for related matters.
Two outstanding bills from the Ninth Assembly to establish University of Aerospace and Aeronautics, Oka Akoko, as well as Federal University of Medicine and Health Science, Bida, Niger State, were referred to the Committee of the Whole for reconsideration.
And the House of Representatives has moved a step closer to reforming polytechnic education as a bill to amend Federal Polytechnics Act of 2004 passes second reading. Now, the proposed changes aim to expand the administrative structure of the Council of Polytechnics, bringing technical institutions into the fold. Now, our next report tells us this could have broad implications for the future of technical education.
Plenary begins with the admittance of visiting British parliamentarians into the hallowed chamber to observe proceedings. The Federal Polytechnics Act Amendment Bill is seeking inclusion of representatives of the National Board for Technical Education and the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria in the council of every polytechnic. The bill is part of the quest by the National Board for Technical Education to abolish the dichotomy between higher national diploma and bachelor's degree in the workplace.
We should move for the abolishment of HND, and in place of it to have Bachelor of Technology as a replacement, so that at least graduates of polytechnics will be able to compete hand in hand with other universities.
Passing other resolutions, the House moved against a proposed increase in pay TV subscriptions, pending the outcome of an investigation.
The House resolves to call on MultiChoice to suspend their proposed increase in subscription prices in Nigeria, pending exhaustive investigations.
The need to curb the menace of farmer-header clashes was emphasized to avert further loss of lives.
We need to address the killing of a vigilante member, Mr. Ogonegbu Chukwunam Nazuba, alleged headers in Obiaruku, Okwani local government area of Delta State, and the escalating header farmer clashes in southern Nigeria.
The failure to act swiftly has emboldened the perpetrators, leading to increased attacks. Urge the federal government to take immediate and decisive steps to address the security and agricultural crisis in Ogumaki, Gambari Reserve, and the environs.
Meanwhile, at an interactive session at the Defense Headquarters, Abuja, the House of Representatives resolved to work with the Military High Command towards curbing the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in the country.
By pooling our resources, expertise, knowledge, we can develop an innovative solution to the problem posed by small arms and light weapons.
Murder is one issue that we have to address head on if actually we want to secure the country.
The House Committee on Small Arms and Light Weapons pledged to explore legislative mechanisms towards addressing the challenge of porous borders.
In parliamentary procedures, the casting vote is the deciding vote cast by the presiding officer when there is a tie during a decision-making process. But how exactly does it work in the House of Representatives? We put that question to the chairman of the House Committee on Rules and Business, Francis Waive.
Talking about casting vote, one we generally want to refer to members, honorable members on the floor casting their votes, either have ayes or nays, which is the general thing. But then the presiding officer is not usually allowed to come on the gallery, on the floor to debate or while presiding or even cast a vote. But when there's a tie, the presiding officer now has a duty to cast a vote. That vote that the presiding officer casts is the determining vote to know whether the ayes will have it in the event of a tie, or whether the nays will have it. So that vote becomes the casting vote that calls the results of that very exercise of voting for a parliamentary decision.
This week on You and Your Reps, our committee segment examines public service matters. So we sit down with Chairman of the committee, Sani Umar Bala, to break down the sector's budget and what it means for its work in the fiscal year.
Going by what the budget is all about, the content of the budget, you can see is very rich and straight to the point on the areas where it's badly needed. Just like you said, the issue of security that is bedeviling the country, especially the northern part of the country. The president is, in his own wisdom, try to see how he can handle squarely the situation of security in the country. Enough money was pushed into the defense sector to ensure that those complaints emanating from within the security apparatus of lack of basic equipment of what have you, and even the basic necessity on the human aspect of it, is being handled. The army, the air force, so many planes were proposed to be purchased in this budget. So many military equipments and what have you. So I think by and large, the budget has done very well as far as the security issue is concerned. I went through the budget and the defense sector and even the other security agencies. You can see that adequate money is being allocated to ensure that the security of the country is being handled squarely. On the issue of food also, agriculture, so I think the federal government has done very well at ensuring farm implements, fertilizers, and other farming activities are being enhanced to ensure that food production is being enhanced. So on the issue of also health sector, the advent, you can see that the president was so sensitive when the American government tried to withdraw the little help they used to give on the issue of HIV, AIDS, and what have you. The president, in his own wisdom, allocated the sum of over $200 million, $200 million, as far as issue of AIDS and what have you is concerned. And that is what is entailed in the additional money that was put around 4.9 billion by the president. So by and large, the interest of the country has been adequately handled and taken care of as far as the budget 2025 is concerned, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as the National Assembly is concerned, because you can see the speed at which we get the budget, the approval. You can see that we are all happy with the content therein. If you look into the budget of the public service, the increase in salary has been taken care of. other welfare issues, as far as the Office of the Head of Service of the Federation is concerned, is being handled squarely. And even the pension side, I can show you the amount of billions of naira that are allocated to take care of the civilian pension, the military pension, and all other pension money. It's here in the budget. I can show you. It's very, very encouraging. And that means you can even see that even just recently the president has approved some billions of naira to go into the pension to alleviate the sufferings of the pensioners. So as far as the issue of public service is concerned, I think the president has done very well. The country has done very well. It's a gradual process. It's a step-by-step process. You cannot finish because the data that has come within so many years, you cannot finish it. But at least with this improvement, significant improvement in the welfare of staffers and welfare of the pensioners, I think the public service is being invigorated in the sense that positively people will begin to know that there is essence in governance. Successful implementation, funding, that is the main issue. We pray that God will provide the country. It's an anticipation. It's not real. So we pray that God will continue to even provide more than what we expected in the budget. The thing is that it's what you have that you give out. So the thing is that we are hoping that whatever is estimated in the budget will be realized, in the sense that all the money that is ascertained to be sourced on the budget will be sourced, and then there will be real implementation of the budgeting figures. That is just the wish and hope that we are putting. Because doing the budget is something else, but implementing it is another. I think most of the contentious issues has been taken care of, and those that were not taken care of, I think the public hearing has taken care of them, because people were there, association groups and what have you, and even some government agencies were there, and they buttress where there are contention, especially in the administration and what have you. So I'm very sure the committee will now go back and sit and then collect whatever is gathered from the public hearing and finally come up with a very clean draft, because it will have to go also after the submission by the committee, it will have to go third reading, and it is the third reading that will either approve it or not approve it. So I'm very sure those contentious issues are taken care of even in the second reading, and even before the second reading, before it is referred to the committee. So I'm very sure that most of the things, especially the concern by the northern groups, is taken care of mostly by the Northern Governors Forum, Nigerian Governors Forum. Even the Southern Governors' concern was also handled. So after they did that, they give us a clean copy, they give their own recommendation, we look at it after it, and then we come up with a very cleaner copy, and then we subjected it to public hearing, and the public hearing will still put some elements of cleanliness into it. So definitely we'll end up having something that will be workable for the country and will be acceptable, because acceptance is another thing. So we'll have something that will be acceptable by the whole country. I don't think there will be any complaint. It will be passed successfully, because at each stage, members of the legislature have been carried along. We are aware of the happenings. Even the public hearing, you can see how transparent it was. No matter how dirty you are to come to narrate your view, you are very free to do that. At the end of the day, the good, the bad, the chips will be removed from the good grain. So at the end of it, I want to tell you that legislature have been carried along. We are fully aware of the happenings, and we will definitely come out with a very clean copy. We have, we have confidence on the leadership They will do the right thing, they have done the right thing, and they will continue to do the right thing. And when it comes to the side reading, we will see it, it will come to the committee of the whole, and from the committee of the whole, we will just stage by stage, point by point, will be taking it section by section. And each and every section will be, subjected to parliamentary scrutiny before finally we come out with a very clean copy of the bill.
And that's where we leave it on you and your reps this week. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. Your representatives are there to serve you. Until next time, I am Victor, and so thanks for watching.